Welcome to our deep dive on the inheritance trap and how an unexpected lump sum can jeopardize needs-based benefits like SSI and Medicaid. Today, we'll show you why immediate legal action is essential, how special needs trusts and ABLE accounts work, and how to convert assets without losing eligibility. We'll also include quick quizzes to help you retain the most important points. Now, let's begin by setting the stage for why this matters. Here's the roadmap for this video. We will begin with why this topic matters, then examine the $2,000 asset limit. We will move into an immediate action plan, break down special needs trusts, explore ABLE accounts, and discuss exempt asset strategies. Then we will cover timing, coordination, and common mistakes, followed by quick quizzes, and end with key takeaways and next steps. Next, let's address a crucial legal disclaimer. This content is for educational purposes and is not legal advice. Laws and benefit rules vary by state and can change. You must consult a qualified special needs planning attorney before taking any action. With that clear, let's discuss why this topic is urgent. A lump sum inheritance, even something as large as $360,000, may sound like long-term security. However, if received directly, it can instantly exceed the $2,000 SSI asset limit and trigger Medicaid ineligibility. The consequences can include loss of crucial income and healthcare coverage. Therefore, handling the funds correctly before any distribution is absolutely essential. Next, let's unpack the $2,000 rule and why it creates immediate danger. SSI and many Medicaid programs impose a strict $2,000 countable asset limit. If you receive the inheritance directly and deposit it, you will almost certainly exceed this limit, which can trigger a suspension or termination of benefits. The primary solution is to avoid taking possession of the funds. Instead, the inheritance should be directed into a properly structured special needs trust. This must be arranged before the funds are distributed to prevent a benefits crisis. Now that you see the risk, let's walk through an immediate action plan. This flowchart illustrates the sequence from noticing the inheritance to preserving benefits. First, upon notice, contact a special needs planning attorney. Next, determine whether a first-party or third-party special needs trust is appropriate. Then, draft and execute the trust. After that, coordinate with the estate representative or financial institution so that the funds flow directly into the SNT and not to the beneficiary. Finally, confirm that eligibility for SSI and Medicaid is preserved and that the trust can be used for supplemental needs. Now let's translate this into a concrete action plan. Do not take possession of the funds. Immediately retain a special needs planning attorney. Identify whether a first-party or third-party trust is needed. Draft and execute the trust before any distribution occurs. Instruct the executor or financial institution to fund the trust directly. Consider opening or using an ABLE account for protected savings within annual contribution limits. Evaluate exempt asset purchases such as a primary residence or necessary vehicle. Only after legal safeguards are in place should you consider investment, education, or other planning. Next, we will dive deeper into special needs trusts. Special needs trusts come in two main forms. A first-party trust is funded with the beneficiary's own assets, such as an inheritance paid to them. It typically requires Medicaid payback upon the beneficiary's death. A third-party trust is funded with assets from someone else, such as a parent or other relative, and generally does not require Medicaid payback. Both structures aim to preserve eligibility while providing for supplemental needs like equipment, technology, transportation, or certain services. Selecting a capable trustee is critical to proper administration. Next, let's compare the two trust types side by side. This table compares the two main special needs trusts. A first-party trust uses the beneficiary's assets and usually requires Medicaid payback at death. A third-party trust relies on assets owned by someone else and generally avoids payback. Both must be set up before funds are received or distributed, depending on who owns the assets. Their shared purpose is to preserve benefits while enabling payment for supplemental needs. Next, we will compare ABLE accounts and SNTs. ABLE accounts and special needs trusts serve different but complementary roles. ABLE accounts have annual contribution limits, and for SSI, balances around $100,000 may be disregarded in many cases. They are designed for disability-related expenses and are beneficial for routine spending. Special needs trusts do not have the same contribution restrictions and can safely hold large inheritances, but they require a trustee and legal drafting. Often, both tools are used together for flexibility and compliance. Next, we will present ABLE essentials in a markdown quick reference format. An ABLE account is a tax-advantaged 529A savings vehicle for qualified disability expenses. Annual contribution limits are around $18,000, but you must check the current federal and state rules. For SSI interaction, balances up to approximately $100,000 may be disregarded, subject to program specifics. Qualified expenses include housing, transportation, education, assistive technology, healthcare, and employment support. Many families use an ABLE account for small and frequent needs, while the SNT holds larger sums. Always keep careful records of expenditures. Next, let's visualize how these tools fit together with exempt assets. This mind map places a protected benefits plan at the center, with 4 main branches. The SNT branch covers first-party and third-party trusts, the role of the trustee, and supplemental needs. The ABLE branch covers annual limits, qualified disability expenses, and SSI thresholds. The exempt assets branch includes a primary home, an accessible vehicle, and essential items allowed under program rules. The team branch emphasizes the importance of professionals, such as the attorney, trustee, and a benefits coordinator. Next, we will focus specifically on exempt asset strategies. Certain assets do not count against SSI and Medicaid limits. Frequently, a primary residence and one necessary vehicle are exempt, as are some personal items and household goods. The strategy is to convert cash into exempt assets where appropriate, rather than retaining cash that would exceed asset limits. Timing and documentation are crucial so that purchases do not create eligibility gaps. Now, let's test your understanding with our first quiz. Question: you learn a $360,000 inheritance is coming. What should you do first to protect SSI and Medicaid? Option A: deposit the check, then call a lawyer. Option B: refuse the inheritance entirely. Option C: immediately hire a special needs planning attorney and set up the right special needs trust before funds are distributed. Option D: spend down the money within 30 days. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is to immediately hire a special needs planning attorney and set up the appropriate special needs trust before any funds are distributed. This prevents the inheritance from becoming a countable asset that would exceed the $2,000 limit and risk losing SSI and Medicaid coverage. Next, let's cover timing, coordination, and real-world sequencing. Timing is everything. Coordinate with the executor or financial institution to ensure that funds never pass through your personal account. Execute the special needs trust and provide written instructions on how to fund it. If using an ABLE account, open it and plan contributions in line with annual limits. After funding, confirm your eligibility status with your caseworker and keep documentation of all communications. Up next, a timeline diagram to reinforce the sequence. This timeline shows the progression from noticing the inheritance through final confirmation of eligibility. First, retain the attorney. Next, select the appropriate trust type, draft, and execute it. Then coordinate with the executor to direct funds into the SNT. If appropriate, open an ABLE account to handle small, qualified expenses. Consider exempt asset purchases at the right time. Finally, confirm and monitor eligibility. Now, let's review common mistakes to avoid. Avoid these pitfalls. Do not deposit or take possession of the inheritance. Do not delay contacting a lawyer. Maintain detailed records of all trust and ABLE transactions. Do not begin investment or education planning until legal safeguards are in place. Finally, do not overlook ABLE accounts or exempt asset purchases that can reduce countable assets. With that in mind, let's try another quick quiz. Question: which of the following is typically not counted against the SSI $2,000 asset limit? Option A: cash in your personal checking account. Option B: a primary residence used as your home. Option C: a second luxury vehicle. Option D: a stock portfolio in your own name. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is a primary residence used as your home. Frequently, a primary residence and one necessary vehicle are exempt under SSI and Medicaid rules, though specifics vary by state and program. Cash in a personal account and a personal stock portfolio typically count toward the asset limit. Now, let's distill the most important takeaways. The core points are straightforward. Do not take possession of the inheritance. Hire a special needs planning attorney at once. Choose and execute the correct special needs trust before any distribution. Use an ABLE account for small, qualified expenses. Convert cash to exempt assets where appropriate. Finally, document meticulously and confirm eligibility. Before we wrap up, here is a brief summary and a call to action. In summary, a large inheritance can jeopardize benefits if received directly. Special needs trusts provide protection by keeping assets non-countable. ABLE accounts offer flexible, protected spending within contribution and balance limits. Exempt asset purchases can further reduce countable resources. Your next steps: retain an attorney, set up the appropriate trust, coordinate with the executor to fund the trust directly, and keep thorough records. Finally, let's close with sincere thanks and a request. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, please like, share, and subscribe. We would love to hear your questions and experiences in the comments, and your feedback helps others protect critical benefits. See you in the next video.